So here's the front of the Jackery 1000 V2. You got your power button. You can hold that down for a couple seconds. Turns the screen on. You got your percentage, 100%. You got input, output. You can see there's Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. We'll show you the app here in a second. So you got your cigarette lighter, 12 volt right here. And you got a 30 watt USB-C, 100 watt USB-C, which is a fast charging for like tablets and laptops and stuff that need a lot of power. And you got your 18 watt USB-A, which that is actually fast charging also. A lot of them are only 5. And you can turn your DC USB button on, and you can see it will show the estimate like of time left if you have that on. Then you got 3 AC wall outlets, which these are 1500 watt, and then it's a 3000 watt surge. You can turn that on by pressing that. You can see it's 120 volt, 60 hertz, and then it shows the estimate too when that's on. Turn that off, and then you got your light over here. It's got a low. It's actually really bright, like it's hard to look at. There's a high, then there's an SOS. Then on top, it has a nice foldable handle, rubber grip on it, which you guys have probably seen the old version. It was like solid, so it was like hard to store it under things and stuff because it would take up space. On the side, you have where you can charge this thing. You have your AC charging spot. So you get your charge cords, orange. There's no power brick, so it's all built in. Then you have your solar spot. This thing can handle 400 watts of solar total, so 200 watts in each spot. And this thing can be fully charged from the wall in 1 hour if you need it to charge super fast. And then you can fully charge this in from 3 to 4 hours if you have 400 watts of solar. Then on the back, it's just like the specs, just nice, solid, hard plastic. Then on the side is the fan spot. Underneath it has some orange rubber feet so it doesn't slide around. You can get a 5-year warranty with this. You just got to register through their website. So I'll have a link in the description to make sure you get your full 5-year warranty. This also has lithium iron phosphate batteries in it. So they're just safer and a lot longer lasting. This thing is 4,000 full cycle uses down to 70% of the original capacity it came with. So that's basically daily use for 10 years. There's also over 62 safety protections built in and some others built-in safety stuff. So with the lithium iron phosphate batteries in it, I think this is a very, very safe power station. You don't have to worry about it like starting a fire and burning down. Should we turn the shower on and see if that works? Just kidding. Basically, we don't want this happening to your house. That would not be good. And it can be operated between 14 and 113 Fahrenheit. So you got a broad temperature range to operate this thing in. So it does have an app that you can connect to it. You can click on the Explorer 1000. You can see it go to 100% power. And it even shows the temperature, which I thought was pretty sweet. It shows your input, your output. You can obviously turn your DC and then your AC inverter on. It actually operates the light from this high, low, and SOS. And you got your screen timer. If you want to turn off right now, you can do off, otherwise 2 minutes or 2 hours. And then under settings, you can change the name of it. This is your emergency charging. If you want it to fully charge in 1 hour because you're in a rush, you can turn that on. Otherwise, it'll take a little bit longer to charge. Then you got your charge settings. This is your regular fast charging mode. If you want the device to be super quiet and take a little bit longer to charge, then you can change it to quiet mode. And this is your battery settings. Fully used from 100% all the way to completely drained. Otherwise, you got battery saving mode. If you don't want to completely go to 0, because it might help preserve the battery a little bit longer if you don't go completely to 0. Then you got energy saving mode, so you can have it to never turn off. Otherwise, you can have this power station turn off after, say, something's fully charged and it's not pulling any more power so that your inverter doesn't continue to drain it. And then you also have auto time off, so this will just turn the device off regardless if something's still being used. You may want that, otherwise you can just have it to never turn off. Then you got your firmware upgrade, device number, device specifications, and you got your user manual. If you want to read on it online, you can do that. All right, now we're going to test it out with different devices. We're going to start small and we're going to work our way up. So this is my drone battery and drone remote. It says it'll run for 50.7 hours. Obviously these would be charged way before that. Now it's charging up my light I go camping with all the time and my really bright flashlight. It's showing 0 watts. It showed 2 a second ago, but it's saying it'll run 99.8 hours. Plug in my fan that I use all the time while camping. Even at 9 watts to charge up my fan, it's saying it'll still run 99.8 hours, which is basically the max. Smaller devices, it will fully charge easily and it won't really barely drain any power from this. I'm charging my phone right now and it says it's only pulling 11 watts, so it says 99.8 hours. Now it's time to start really pushing this thing. Let's turn on the AC and plug in a toaster here. This should pull quite a bit of watts here, so I don't have any toast in there. I forgot bread, unfortunately, but it's the same thing. So it's pulling about 680 watts. It says it would run for 1.5 hours. Microwave turn on in our fridge. We do have some food we're gonna test out. We got some sesame chicken So put this in here. So it looks like about 2 minutes, 30 seconds, remove, another minute, 30 seconds. But it's not really that frozen anymore, so I might go a little bit shorter than that. Do 2 minutes. Pulling almost 1200 watts. Estimated time's obviously going down at 0.9 hours, but this is only gonna run for a couple minutes. So we're at 99% we started. We'll see what we get down to after 2 minutes. All right, we dropped 3% so far. We gotta do another minute. Woo, that is hot. Just gotta mix it up, put another minute in there. Put it in for 1 more minute. You can see it is showing it on the app. 1097 watts, and it shows the estimate and the percentage. 94%. So from 99 to 94% to make our food, but if you had solar, obviously you could charge it back up. Well, while we let our food cool down, let's try making some coffee with the Keurig. That thing pulls a lot of power, so let's see if this thing can handle that bad boy. Gotta use our Tolbers camping cup, of course. You can get your own at tolbers.com. Full to the brim. There we go. Use our McCafe. Here we go. Doesn't pull much power when it's sucking in the water. It's once the heater kicks in. So right now it's basically saying 0 watts, but that will go up. It's about to crank up. Here you go. Woo! 1410 watts. So this has a 1500 watt inverter, so this shouldn't have any issue. Also, if you want to turn off that Bluetooth and Wi-Fi that keep flashing normally, if you don't want to use the app, you can hold down these 2 buttons for a few seconds and we'll turn it off. So I turned mine off since I'm not using the app anymore. So we're down to 90%. We got our coffee, we got our food, we got to charge some stuff up a little bit. Well, if you wanted to boil some water, make some coffee, whatever you want to do with an electric kettle, let's test that out next. I think this thing pulls a lot of watts also. All right, guys, so I really filled this up. That's a ton of water. This would make a ton of coffee. So let's see how much power that thing pulls. Ooh. Yep, over 1400 again. So we're really pushing an inverter on this thing, but it's handling things that are really, these are the highest powered devices that I have. So yeah, this Jackery 1000 V2 can handle Keurigs and electric kettles and electric grills and all that stuff. The fans on this actually are really quiet too for pushing basically the max power almost. 1500 watts would be max. Actually, what a lot we're hearing is this, like about to boil the water. It should turn off. There we go. So that obviously pulled a lot of power, but that was a really good test. The fans turned off almost immediately once it went from 1400 watts pulling down to 0. That's a good test to make sure this can not overheat and handle all that constant, almost max power pulling. So she handled it well. So maybe you want a cold beverage instead of something hot. Now we got my portable fridge plugged in here. This is something you would more likely run on a power station like this. You can obviously run very high powered pulling devices, but you can't run them all the time unless you're gonna, obviously plug in some solar. So currently we're pulling about 60 watts. It says 13.2 hours. So it's charging this battery, built-in battery, and it's also running it right now because I just turned it on. As you can see the temperature, and it's charging it up right now. So yeah, it says it'll run for 13.2 hours, but obviously once this gets the temperature, it will shut off and then it won't be pulling any watts. So it obviously lasts a lot longer than that. All right, one last test. Let's try my massive shop fan because sometimes it gets hot out there and you want to cool down. We'll try it on low and then we'll try it on high. You're not gonna probably be able to hear me, so I'm just gonna show you. Here's a low. So on low, it says it'll run it for about 8 hours from 73% without any solar. If you did have solar, it would basically be infinite while you have sun. On high. Woo, it feels good. Almost forgot to mention this does have pass-through charging and also UPS mode. So that's a great feature to have. So we're going to test out the UPS mode. Make sure that this doesn't turn off, because if you had your medical devices or your computers or refrigerator, freezers, all that plugged in, and the power went out, it'd be nice to know, hey, our power went out, but we have it plugged into our Jackery power station, so we know our devices are still running. So we're about to run this, and then we're going to pull the power out of the wall and make sure this doesn't stop working or turn off or something like that. It was pulling 1400 watts. Unplug it. Oh, you see the input went out because it was charging a little bit. And now it's just from the battery, and this didn't stop working. We'll plug that back in. Should see some input here in a second. Yep. No issues. Perfect. We'll unplug it one more time. Yep, still working. So the UPS mode does work. So here's the outside spot at this tiny cabin. But so now we're going to show you the new Jackery 200 watt solar panel. This is their newer one. I guess it's a little lighter and maybe a little more efficient. Only weighs 19 pounds. It's got a nice smooth kind of rugged style, and it has a little Velcro right there to hold the legs on, and then it has these like really strong magnets to keep it together, so you don't need a carrying case or anything. It's real simple. This is a solar cable that comes with it. It's really long, so obviously you're going to plug this into one of the 200 watt spots, and you could obviously get one more 200 watt solar panel to have the max of 400 watts solar. But if you have like a different style Jackery, it might take this one. That's why there's like two heads on it, but this one obviously takes this one. And something I've never seen before is this actually has like a USB-C and a USB-A into the cord. So I'm assuming you can get power directly from this and charge devices without even having a power station. That's pretty sweet. And then it has an LED light to let you know it's working. So the sun's starting to come out a little bit, so we're gonna attempt to plug this thing in and see if we can get some power. Well, it looks like the sun's hiding behind the clouds again, but we're going to try to put it out right there, and hopefully the sun comes back out. Like I said, it's got magnets. You just go like that, open it up. It's got some legs on the back. So here it is, brand spanking new, never been used yet. So you can see it's got two legs on it, but it seems like because of the angle, it doesn't seem like it needs any more legs than that. So first, I want to see if this will charge a device without being plugged into a power station. That'd be pretty sweet. You take this end, you can see there's this little flap right here. Open that up. Now it has a certain way it's got to go. You just plug that in. Can you guys see the LED lights on? So let's try plugging this in. See if it'll charge my GoPro without being plugged into anything. That'd be the first time I've ever seen that. The red light, yep, it's charging. That's sweet. Look, it's not plugged into any power station. I've never seen that before. So let's plug this into the power station and see if we can get any power. There we go. I don't know if it automatically turns on or if you have to turn it on yourself. All right, guys, so I learned that this actually isn't what you need for this one. You need this straight one. I was like, why is it not registering? So right now we're getting 41 watts. This is a 200 watt solar panel. But look at the clouds, like the sun's completely behind the clouds. So I'll see if I can wait till it gets a little sunnier, but so far we're getting 41 watts. So this is the Jackery 200 watt solar panel. This is their newer one. It weighs 19 pounds. It has ETFE coating, so it doesn't yellow and lasts longer. It has 24% efficiency. So that's actually the highest I've ever seen. I like how easy it is to adjust these legs. Like you can get that angle really deep. Right now getting around 130 watts. It says it would take 2.1 hours to fully charge. If it keeps going up, that time will obviously shrink. Well, that's good enough for this test. Seems to work good to me. Super easy to put away. All right, guys, well, hope you enjoyed the review of this Jackery Explorer 1000 V2 and the 200 watt solar panel. Thanks to Jackery for sending me this. So if you guys want to check this out, I'll have a link in the description.